Hello, 12A. I hope that you're all very well. Today we're just going to go through seminar research, most of which you're pretty up on. But I just wanted to give a couple of hints or tips or ideas about perspectives for you to complete your research for your final seminar. Thank you very much for all of the plans that I received. I know that I shouted out Alan for doing just an absolutely terrific plan, so thank you very much for that. But yeah, that's kind of quality that I would be looking for from level 3, but you have an opportunity to do your final plan after you've done your research. So now that you've got your focus, we need to get the information. Well, let's get the information that we need. So things that you want to consider are what sort of information will be useful or relevant. Can I find primary sources, and also can I find secondary sources? What perspectives you should consider? How can you deliver a well-rounded view of the topic? So I want to make sure that we're not being completely biased and just say, for instance, if you did it on animal testing, and if you were me, would say that it was completely wrong and should be stopped immediately. It's important to look at different perspectives. How can I deliver a well-rounded, what resources can I find? And what information could really engage my audience? Remember that you are going to be standing up there for 10 minutes, and I can promise you that if your audience are not interested in your topic, it will increase your own nerves because they'll start fiddling and not looking at you, and it just makes the whole experience more awkward, both for the audience as well as for the presenter. So any topic can be interesting. Trust me, if you listen to How Stuff Works, they've even done one on how grass grows. I thought that would be the most boring thing I'd ever listen to. It was actually really interesting. So consider types. So what sort of information could you get? And you need again, a well-rounded sort of data from different resources. Scientific data, statistics, and factual evidence. Have there been any research or studies done on your particular area? Interviews and anecdotes, news articles, historical articles, even consider biographies and autobiographies. So consider different types where you're going to get your different information from. If you're going to do something pop culture-y, for instance, someone's talking about heartbreak, interviews and anecdotes would be really interesting. If I was going to do something on COVID, for instance, which I know I've said no one should, I would look at different types of news articles. For instance, today in America, there was a news article about protesters who are protesting against isolation because they think COVID is made up, which is a very bizarre perspective. But like I said, it's interesting to get different viewpoints. Consider different resources. So images, music, videos, handouts, activities. Activities could be something, you can even get your audience to stand up and do something physical. When I did a presentation on Hiroshima and Nagasaki at the end of the Second World War, when America bombed those places in Japan, I actually did a meditation piece with my audience. I got them to close their eyes and talk them through what that experience would have been like, with a little bit of music on the background. Got a couple of people to cry in my audience, which was actually quite exciting. But yeah, you can be creative with how you're going to present your seminar. And props. There was one TED talk I watched the other day, and he was talking about having less is more, and he just had a cardboard box in the middle of the stage. Perspectives. As I said, do not simply try and find evidence to prove your ideas or perspective. Remember, we are now critical thinkers. You're going to be going to university and expected to think outside of the box. So consider what is the opposite to what you believe, or the opposite to your point in your study or your seminar, okay? And have a look at those perspectives, research them, and see if they're going to be interesting or appropriate for your seminar. And then we need to look at the different perspectives. So have I considered it from a social perspective, environmental, psychological, scientific, economical, historical, cultural, pop cultural, etc. Change of direction. It's quite common for your plan to change direction the more research you do. For instance, when I was once researching for the idea of globalization and open border policy, and I thought it was a wonderful idea, but once I'd done my research, I identified that you can't just open the borders to everybody. There's a lot of economic, social, political issues that you need to consider. So unfortunately, my thesis changed direction completely, and that's completely okay. So if you develop new ideas or new interest, you don't have to stand exactly by your plan. As you research, if it changes direction or develops in a different way, that's absolutely fine. Just go with it. I always consider research is kind of like Alice in Wonderland when she goes down the rabbit hole. So this is all you're doing. I have sent this through to you on your WeChat, but I know that you've probably got copies from your research that you've been doing for your essays. So start on your research. The research is due on Thursday, the 30th of April. So I'm sure that most of you have probably done a little bit of research already, but I do want to make sure that you're actually doing looking from different perspectives, getting different articles, not just going with your own ideas, okay? The same as what your research essay, it needs to be based on evidence, okay? You can't just stand up there and tell me why you like Taylor Swift. I don't care. You need to get some specific evidence for that. And what's going to happen next is we're going to put the research into a final plan, the plan into a PowerPoint. Then I'm going to get you to practice in small groups so that you can give each other feedback and suggestions. Then we'll have our seminar presentations, on which day I'm actually going to order some pizza in for you. You can let me know what your favourite type of pizza is, and just so you guys can have a bit of enjoy some pizza while you're finishing off your seminar, because that will be the last assessment that you will have with me. All right, so that's it, guys. Jump into your research. I'll give you lots of self-study time to get that done. If you have any questions, please give me a shout, let me know. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next class.